live, folks. Back again. This is your host of Lit Literature, JP, a.k.a. The Demon, and you're here with the normal cast, minus the captain. So not everybody, like the director pointed out so pleasantly to me in the episode 1. We finally found our groove in the end of the episode. We finished talking about Andrastea. Let's do some quick intros, and then we've got a Brent bet proposal by Cherry. All right. It's Cherry.
I'm Josh Cherry.
Aim the Dream, Manny.
Ben the Hitman.
Brett the Director.
All right. Now you know the crew. So
and the Demon.
Yeah, that's right. I started. All right, go ahead. What's your Brent bet?
And the Demon.
So following up on our last episode, we're talking about, we just finished with
Andrastea.
And how he's kind of been like manipulating a lot of people. But we also find out that Gavin, is now in the prison that he built without his colors. So we're pretty sure that Andros put him in there. And my Brett bet is there's going to be, those two are going to visit, they're going to talk, and we're going to find out probably a lot more about their interactions and hopefully some more information in regards to what happened at the original Gavin's induction to the prism.
Okay.
But my Brett bet is, did Andros, and I'm hoping we'll find this out, did Andros know that Gavin was actually Dazen, or not the brother, or not who he said he was?
Ooh.
My answer to that is yes, he already knew.
I'm going to say no. That he did not know.
All right. What did Manny bet? I'm going to do the opposite.
Yes, he already knew.
Okay. I am actually going to say that no, he did not know.
Yeah, because I'm also curious, if he didn't know that they switched, did he know which brother he is now? Because there's only a dead body down there.
Right.
Well, the other thing is, like, I want to say no too, because that scene in the book 1 where he's like, the dagger, you saw the dagger. What did you do with it? No, there's not enough there. He might have been playing that too to test him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Damn it, this is a good one.
What did he say, Brett?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes then.
Ooh.
To make it double, because I could see that going anyway.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because we knew that his mother knew.
Yeah.
And if we get a little bit of a feeling that maybe they were a lot more in line than kind of what we sometimes think. So maybe she did confide in Andros, or there's reasons that she had to, like, or did she actually hold true and keep it away from him? So
I don't know.
Because at the end we also find out that the White knew the whole time.
And that's going to branch us into the next conversation.
Yeah.
Can I
topic.
change mine to yes? I like yeses more than no's.
So that's the reason I went for it, because I think my gut says no because of the knife scene where in the book 1. But
My gut says no, but I want it to be yes, so I want to go yes.
I'm saying yes.
Then
You
say
can change
yes.
it.
Okay, yes.
All right,
I'm gonna go
it's-
yes. But Ben's got a good track record though.
and Manny has a bad track record.
Manny in this book might turn a whole new leaf. I mean, we know he was right about Iron Fist.
Yeah,
What
actually.
a call that was. I was laughing my ass off.
All right, I'm gonna go yes because it's been a while
yes,
since
man.
I've drank. So
All right. So we want you guys to take a Brett bet as well. And when we do our Brett bet review episodes, whenever we decide.
Let's not have a scoreboard this time.
Oh, we're having a scoreboard,
we're gonna have
baby.
a scoreboard.
Yes, we're having a
Manny, you might win
scoreboard.
this time.
Manny,
I still don't need a
Manny,
scoreboard.
you make it really easy when Jeff's editing because he doesn't have to have like editable text there. He just puts an image there of a 0.
Just leave it the whole time.
It just stays that way.
No,
I
Manny
get
actually,
it, and you're really
you
funny.
had a good comeback. You had a good comeback.
Yeah.
Last time towards the end.
Yeah, during the Stormlight Archive, we ended up realizing that Manny got more right than we
Yeah,
thought.
that I thought.
It's just because you had like
So many in the
4 wrong
beginning.
answers in a row, and then you just had like
It's
tons
just
of
because
rights.
you really like
Yeah.
making fun of me.
But in
Yeah.
the end though, you did finish tied with last. So
oh wow, really?
you still
You
you're
could
gonna
have just let it go.
Yeah.
You
But
could
the
have just
best
let
thing,
me have it.
the best thing about it is though,
But it was
when you did
tied
get
with last.
when you did get one right though, because of how far and few they were between each other, you got super pumped.
Plus, you were trashed.
So who
Because of how many you got wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Just out of curiosity, who won?
I think
Actually,
me and Andrew did,
we
right?
don't have it finished because remember there's still more books coming out. But the tie is between
Andrew and Brett. I
Andrew
think.
and Brett, and then Ben is down by 1. And then Josh
Ben got like the
and
first
me
8
are
correct.
behind.
He had the
I
opposite.
thought I was
couldn't-
tied for last.
Anyway,
You're
let's
tied
get
for
back to
last.
this.
But it's because we didn't get to answer as many.
We didn't get to
Yeah.
answer as many, and I just caught up on a few.
Yeah.
But I'm still pretty far behind. So.
Jeff cheated on one.
But I did
Accidentally.
give,
Yeah, you
I
did
accidentally did. I
You
accidentally
did.
did.
Anyway,
but
let's get back to
if
this
you
book.
watched that episode, I didn't give myself a point for it.
Oh, that's right,
So
because
I
it-
left it
that
0.
All right,
matters.
let's roll. So,
All right.
I think
the white.
that's going to be a really fun Brett bet. I like that one.
the white. Let's get on the white.
I
So,
love this bitch.
Yeah.
Love
First of
her.
all, how awesome is
Manny
she?
wants to get on the white.
Like, number one, her stories about basically being an equal with Andras. Her ability to manipulate people is equal, but they seem like a totally different tact, like a pleasant way to go about it. Versus,
she also gets their like support. Like they actually are loyal to her instead
That's
of
true,
through
yeah.
manipulation. It feels like she's still manipulating, but she buys them into her. Reasoning.
she's awesome at it
Yeah.
too. Like the way that she got Tia was ingenious.
Mm-hmm.
She clearly really does test people the same way though. Like we were wondering about the White's goddamn motives when she sent Karris out there. Well, she sent her out there because chance to find her son, opportunity to check on that, also testing her to see if she could kind of figure some stuff out in precarious situations.
Well, and she even says like, "Oh, it's part of this was like I sent you to go face what I think you're weak at, like, and to see if you can overcome it because these are your weaknesses."
Yeah.
And like a big portion of it was like her emotions when she finds out that Gavin would have cheated on her when they were betrothed,
Yeah.
and the like how would she react to finding a kid, and she also has her kid out there, like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting. And then you also she talks about her deceased husband, who seemed like a beast, like just an awesome strategic guy. Like she says, maybe even he set her up as the White, like playing against Andras views the White as his like main nemesis. It may have even been that guy, her husband, the White's husband.
Yeah.
Who, remember, she almost married Andras Guile.
Yeah.
Instead, she married this guy.
Because of there was some sign in the sky when they first met, like
Yeah.
at night, that happens very
It was
rarely.
the
What
green.
was it? It was
right?
the green
flag,
flag.
wasn't
Pullum's
it?
wink.
Yeah, is what they call it.
Which just I mean, her story is really
No, I don't
cool.
think she almost married Andros. I think it was Gavin's grandmother almost married someone else.
Besides Andros.
Was it the White's
Gavin's
husband?
grandmother wouldn't marry Andros.
Oh, that was the White's
The White's
husband.
husband.
The White's
almost-
husband was gonna marry Andros's.
No, and they were sisters, the White and the grandmother, right?
No.
I
Yeah.
don't know exactly.
I think
There
it was.
was
She's
something
like-
about
I
it,
can't
like
remember.
it was something to do with the Giles, like
It was something to do with the guys. She almost was his.
But she said you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her
My grandmother.
marrying
that guy.
her husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's the mom.
I thought it was the mom.
Maybe the mom was gonna marry. Well, I
Let
don't
me
know.
look it
No,
up.
the
So-
age is too different.
I have a question for you guys, and I'm almost afraid to ask it because it's probably gonna be so vague, or I might have like be misremembering it. But I feel like there was a connection that I don't quite understand. It was either Andros saying this, or it was potentially the Lightbringer that Kip was talking to. But I remember there being a rant where one of them brings up like some guy that was super smart that was a gambler. But
That was the White talking about her husband.
No, somebody else.
No, it was the White talking about her.
Yeah, that's the connection. The White talking about her husband that way, and then someone else talking about somebody else that way. Oh, he was super smart. It was Andros. Andros was talking about somebody in their bloodline. It's like, and he was super smart. It's like a cousin of his or something like that, and was a gambler.
No, he was saying that his brother was a gambler and lost a lot of the money.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
brother.
And he
was.
took the.
That's right.
He took everything from his brother because he was. such
Okay,
a-
but it was no relation.
No,
It
yeah,
wasn't
no
okay,
relation.
it wasn't the same person. All right.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was
they're the
making a
same.
point of bringing up those things and showing like indirectly some connection, but never mind then.
But very cool. So we know she's like just
The White tells Gavin that if she hadn't seen the flash of green, then Gavin's grandmother would have married someone else and he wouldn't be there today.
yeah.
So it's his grandmother that would have married somebody else.
So it must have been her husband.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she then married that guy that when she
because
saw the
that
Flash.
guy was on a date with Gavin's grandmother.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, that's cool. So, but very, very interesting. So she plays it amazing. She's obviously got faith in Karris. We find that out because she makes Karris her spy master, which is actually more like she's not really the spy master because her spy master is, we find out, is the room slave,
Marissia.
Marissa. So how crazy is that? Gavin wins her over. But did he? I think he did. But then at the same time, it's okay because the White knows that Marissa loves Gavin, and also the White supports Gavin.
Yeah.
So that she's not crossing.
But you would
bounds.
almost think,
the
though,
White
she's-
also knows it's Dazen.
She has to be a little bit more on the White side because she doesn't ever tell Gavin. So she's got to be a little bit more towards the White in terms of leadership because she told the White that she knows whatever all the stuff she knows about Gavin, but she never told Gavin all the stuff she knows about the White.
Which kind of makes me wonder a little bit. I don't doubt that she has feelings for him and that some of that was legitimate, but when she first found out about Karris and the stuff happening between him and Gavin and this girl that he finally loved is in the picture, and she had a little moment of freaking out. I wonder if that was more just because she needed to keep that position or if because she was afraid that
Losing
the
Gavin.
booty was going to stop.
Yeah, I do feel very bad for her in a way because she really does love him, and then she's enjoys the job. I think she really enjoys doing the good.
She was
for
in
the
a
world.
Danavis situation where it's it's nice when duty and desire line up.
That last scene though, where she kind of got an inkling that Karris might come back into the picture, she just make sure she gets that.
Well, she probably gets a lot of intel during coitus.
Yeah.
You're so stupid.
But anyway, so the White has Marissia, and she's such a badass. But then she knows that she's dead, so she knows that something's wrong. That she got, and essentially, she says it's not that big of a deal. I was only gonna get a few.
More
Even if
days.
this wasn't happening, I would be
few
dying
days.
anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And she even said she was probably gonna go the Sunday.
Yeah,
To
she's
the-
it actually comes as a bit of
A relief.
not a relief, but to my advantage that I know when I am going to die.
Right.
Yeah.
So she uses it to her advantage and sets a lot of things in motion, which is pretty awesome. She clearly has way more plans than we're aware of at this point. Karris hasn't even opened her orders yet,
Yeah.
right? We don't even know what those are. Iron Fist has some orders, which he may actually carry out, despite his dual allegiance.
And Kip has her card that we know he saw, but we don't know what he saw.
Yeah. By the way, we're gonna have to spend some time talking about Kip and those damn cards, but for now, the White. So she has decided that she wants Karris to be her successor. That's what we get to find. So that scene was badass.
That scene was
Well, it was
phenomenal.
also she starts out by just kind of being I'm gonna just kind of bring you down, destroy you a little bit, because she's just oh, you married Gavin, so hey, you can't be Blackguard anymore. Karris is you're gonna take everything from me.
Yeah.
And she's yes, you made this decision. This is on you, and just kind of brings her down.
She said, I
and
thought I
just-
was the exception.
Yeah, exactly.
She's no, we're just gonna let you we're not gonna boot you out. You can retire,
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah, and kind of brings her down before being okay, there is some stuff for me, for you to do. You still have purpose. Mm-hmm. And kind of
But she does everything that she does because she knows the people and how they react to it.
Mm.
It's so interesting, her and how Andros and her are so similar in that they know how people will react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they use the different
They use their
the
words
different
differently.
range of different they use the different emotions to kind of dictate how that other person will follow up with their initial reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas Andros kind of pushes for the person's desire to beat him or vengeance to push them to do something, she pushes people to
for allegiance,
self-reflection
and
opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
You know, they're both doing growth, they're
Yeah.
both developing people, but they do it in different, one is the carrot and the other one's the stick.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. So her death.
I feel if they just teamed up they could create an unstoppable army.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tia hears that. They should technically team up and have an unstoppable army against the Color Prince.
Against the
Instead,
Color
they're
Prince,
freaking
yeah.
going against each other.
But
We
you
don't
do
know
have
what their
to-
true motives are, though.
This is a little
Like,
side thing, but you do also have to be careful. Like when you're fighting a mutual enemy, you also have to remember that at some point that fight's going to stop. And
Yeah.
like, what are you creating that could be worse? You know?
Exactly. and so the White, she is assassinated essentially. Sharp, plugs her with the peril trap around her heart. So I remember the first time I read that, I kind of didn't expect her to die yet. I kind of knew it was coming, but I didn't figure it was going to be like this book. But I did start to think that maybe Karris would be the replacement. So I was glad to see that come to fruition. Yeah. That was pretty interesting ceremony. So Andras was cheating, of course, with using orange the way that you can use it, as the Color Prince knew. With that, I had to reread that scene a few times because I didn't realize it. I was like, what do you mean she has a feeling about that one is good and one is bad, and the one that's
not one is good, one is bad.
Or-
She's like, she has a desire to pick one up as fast as possible, and the other one nothing.
Yeah.
So, and then she was just like, and then she like scratched the post that was holding or the pedestal that was holding the stone and saw the orange luxon.
Yeah, that's right. So I had to read that twice to make sure that I understood how it was coming off. But she saw a green flash, but it was a reflection. But it was kind of like she was like, "Oh, it's my
Or
own."
Holem is talking to me.
Yeah.
So
cool.
And I love that scene when she picks up the right one, and the other two people are like, "Hell no!" They like run right after her.
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Bitch, I'm a
I've been
black
trained
guard."
for this. Yeah.
She just tosses it in the air. She's injured.
And then she grabs the other guy, grabs the other one to wrap it on the other side, and they both fall. And she's just like,
Well,
throw it in the water.
One of them's hanging, and one of them's like still on the pedestal, and so they're both still alive. And she's like,
Sidekick,
let me just
doesn't
kick
she?
him.
"Yeah."
She
She just kicks him right
She
off.
Chun-Li's his ass off.
Showed it. She's like, these are legendary legs.
I also love how, like, it's a little bit less like mic drop moment inside her head, but I just like the image of her just like dropping the stone,
Not
and
even
walking
looking at
away,
it,
not even
right?
looking.
Ah!
It's
She
being
doesn't. I
we
didn't
got
need
shit to
confirm.
do.
Yeah.
No, and then the way that Brent Weeks made it like, and the new White declares, "We are at war. Let's start acting like it."
Yeah.
Oh God, I like literally got shivers all over.
I know, it's so good.
The entire time that's
If I
going
did
on.
if I did it as a movie, I would have it so that it doesn't even dissolve. Like by the time she says it, like she doesn't look, it's still dissolving. She says it, and everybody's still like looking at her and the stone.
Yeah, trying to see.
Like, what, should we be listening?
Yeah. Okay.
The awesome thing is like during that whole scene, like I love how they described like the windows coming down. Like Chromeria is awesome because it's essentially rotating with the sun at all times.
Yeah.
The buildings, like in the old areas, the rooms are actually changing, like the bathroom scene, which is pretty awesome. But like it's really cool. So it's like comes down and then that thing comes out, like the big sliding. I got that picture, like a really cool picture in my mind of these like circular sliding discs that go out there. But that whole time, of course,
Remind me a little bit of Hogwarts.
it's kind of cool,
Just
man.
the moving.
Yeah, like everything moving, like the
staircases and
staircases.
shit.
Except like super colorful, like vibrant,
And much more
like,
complex.
yeah. I gotta say, if this ever gets made into a movie, it's gonna be really interesting to see how somebody would try to make that.
Yeah,
Chromeria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a tough one, man.
Well, and
would be.
they said
It
it's
would
like
be worth making just to chill in the Chromeria, even if
Yeah.
you forget the
Yeah.
story, just to see that in
Well,
actuality.
it's
would
like
be
built
cool.
like the opposite of most cities, right? Because most cities you have like your biggest spires in the very middle, but it's like all the smallest, and then you have the biggest on the outside, so the mirrors can work to like send the light everywhere.
everywhere.
So it's
Yeah.
like an opposite of your normal city. It's cool.
Pretty cool.
It would be a cinematographer's either dream or nightmare.
Nightmare.
One of the two.
Yeah. So, anything else on the White?
Yeah, I was about to say they got super lucky because they drew straws to see who goes first,
Yeah.
and it happened that Andros' guy was last. 'Cause
Yeah.
if he was first, he would have just picked it up.
Picked it up.
Yeah. You're right.
That's
that
cool.
was
I'm
luck.
watching their
Yeah.
backs, man.
There was some luck.
But is that
too.
It's not luck.
Did,
it's
it was only,
arborum.
but he only knew if it was down to one or the other, right?
I think they're all hexed.
Oh, do you think they were all giving you that feeling that you need to
Except
pick it
for
up?
the one.
Except for the one,
Which
and
is
that
why
way everybody. would've-
everyone would have gotten the
Oh,
other
that
one.
makes sense.
Unless maybe Andros wanted his boy last because of that, so that it seemed less likely that they cheated.
But it's weird though that
The one had the hex that wanted you to stay away, so that was likely to stay up the longest.
Oh.
Even
Yeah,
if the other ones won't.
I think he might have even wanted his guy last because
Yeah.
that way there's no argument. Like he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, deniability.
Right?
to say-
You have the deniability exactly. Like this
like
is the
how
one
would
that
I have
just
ever?
had to
They
pick.
all chose the other ones.
Yeah.
How would I have ever manipulated it?
Exactly.
If anything, we had everything stacked against us. Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting, but maybe not. Maybe there was a little luck in it. So, Andras certainly seemed like a little irritated when Karris came in because he didn't account for that. And
Yeah.
he was trying to keep
Right.
her out of that.
As soon as she
situation.
came in, do you think he knew, like, oh,
We
crap,
might be screwed.
my plan's done?
No, I don't think he thought it was done yet, but I think he thought like
the white
This is
hand
a-
was in play.
that white
Yeah.
tan was in
Because
play.
especially
yeah.
when her uncle gave up a seat for her
Yeah.
and put up
the
front.
one guy, yeah, he was just
maybe that's not her uncle, but whatever.
But it was something. Yeah, it was like something like that. So what about the broken eye?
Wait, before we go
Oh,
there.
okay.
One also really good scene from that I was like super happy about, and it was just so trivial and small, but when Andras like gave her like was staring back at her, and she's just like, oh, so this is what it feels like to be in power.
oh,
Be able to stare someone back and not like
Flinch
look
or-
away.
Yeah.
And then she just gave him a grin like,
Let's have
Fuck
fun.
you.
Yeah.
oh my god, it was so cool. I was
His
like, yes,
daughter-in-law.
Karris, yes.
It's so crazy,
Yeah.
so interesting.
And he's like, I didn't realize I wanted to be president until I read that.
That's awesome. So let's shift gears to the Broken Eye. Talk through. So we find out who the leader, quote unquote leader of the Broken Eye is, Grimwitty,
Grim Witty.
who's also Uncle Grimwitty.
To Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
I had this question. Do you think he's actually related to
I think so.
Iron Fist? Or is that just like a...
A thing of the order.
Yeah, like, you know, in Japanese mafia,
Right.
it's Big Brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's really related.
But it seems like that'd be so hard for Andros to trust him. Because he would have to know they're related.
I
like-
don't know. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Clearly,
Maybe.
they.
But I mean, like,
yeah.
yeah.
We don't know. We don't know the story. Like, maybe. it could
Well,
be
no,
that, I think
actually,
they're
but
really related.
there were talks earlier about Andros having some sway over Iron Fist. I forget who was saying it. Someone was saying that Andros had some sway over Iron Fist, and maybe
Grimwitty is it.
That Grimwitty is it. Like
Maybe
that's,
he does know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the guy. It was over the leader. Whoever
it was
just
Fisk.
showed the leader. Yeah, Fisk.
Yeah, that
whoever
was
chose the
Commander Fisk. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Commander Fisk because he had like bribed him or something.
Yeah.
He forced him to kind of.
But he also had something over who gets to choose the commander of the Blackguard, because that was the thing
Oh,
with
the
the white
black.
when the white was
Yeah, the black.
because the white was saying like, oh, he can remove you, and Andros has sway over him, but I'll just reinstate you again, and then it'll just be a fight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Broken Eye.
I'm super worried what's going to go down, though.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of Iron Fist potentially having to be put against Kip.
Well, it's
Because Iron Fist is a badass.
based on what they
I
said.
think we know what he'll choose.
Based on what they said,
It's not really
it's
a
actually
choice.
good for the Broken Eye
I mean, it is. But...
to cultivate Kip.
Yeah.
Right.
So he said protect him
Yeah,
or
at
kill him
first.
if you have to.
Uh-huh.
If you have to.
Yeah. So it might be if Kip.
But the thing is, though, is that it doesn't necessarily mean that Kip has to like go bad in order for
No.
him to be.
The Broken Eye might not
against-
even be bad. We don't know that if they're bad or not yet.
No. My point is that it like kill him if you have to doesn't necessarily like when I first heard kill him
Oh,
if
yeah.
you have to, I'm thinking like, oh well, then Kip's probably safe because he's not gonna like turn to the dark side. You know,
Yeah.
he'll be with the good guys.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking like, well, we don't really know what they
The
are,
motive-
so
exactly,
maybe him not going bad is what causes him to have to be killed if you have to. So I don't. We don't know.
We don't know what the motive is, but it doesn't seem evil. It just seems different than the Chromeria.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah,
when I
different purpose.
when I see when I heard that he said, "Iron Fist, you've done your duty. You're free. Like, just decide on your own. Your heart will have to lead you through your next section." That alone tells me that their group isn't necessarily evil, but they have some
I don't think they're evil, but I think that they would place their ideals
Yes.
above Kip's life
Yes.
if Kip didn't agree with their ideals.
That's what I
you
mean.
know what I mean?
We don't know what their ideals
Or if
are.
he gets in the way
Yeah.
of their ideas.
Right.
I think they would. I think. Well, I don't know if Iron Fist would. That's going to be up to Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But you know, Grimwoody kind of warned him, just like, don't let him, you know, turn out the same way he did last time. Is basically what he said.
Right.
Like try your best to not let him go in their mind bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we don't know what their ideals are. That's what we got to find out. So hopefully in the next book. And is that a
And you also never know. I mean,
No.
we never know.
you guys
if,
don't make enough bread bets.
We can make a bet.
we never know exactly how Kip is going to change as he gets potentially more and more of this power
And
you
more
know?
awareness.
So
Yeah.
We can say
it
this
would be
Iron Fist
really
tried to kill him or
sad
Mm.
if Kip ended up being the
Oh.
ultimate bad guy in this.
We could do that. We could make that a bread bet.
What's that?
Is Iron Fist going to try to kill Kip or protect him? Or just
Make an
kill Kip?
actual attempt that he fails, you mean? Or at any point be like, oh, I need to kill him.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you guys? How would you want to do it?
Okay, if I made the Breck bet, I would say, does Iron Fist at some point make an actual attempt to kill
I like
Kip?
it.
Meaning there's a dagger or luxon in hand.
Yeah, I like it because he could consider it and change his mind.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in.
All right, let's do that.
All right. What do you want to do?
We can just bet opposites.
Oh, do you know this? You remember this?
Pretty sure.
I don't think this at all.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna say yes then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was gonna bet anyways, but
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say no.
I don't even remember what
I'll
the
say
bread
yes
is.
then.
Is he gonna try to kill, or at any point in time, is he gonna try to kill Kip?
Who?
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist?
Like, he can end up not doing it and end up if he changes
Josh,
his
remember
mind.
this.
If he changes
Maybe
his
I'm
mind,
stupid.
then it's a no. If he actually attempts it but fails, it's a yes.
Oh. So what if he Okay.
I said no.
Jeff, no.
And I say opposite yes.
Josh.
I'm pretty sure you
Yes.
said yes to start the first time.
No, he said no.
Oh, you did say no?
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't changed my mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
No. Ben.
yes.
Ben's like, of course. Why would the assassin not say the assassin?
All right, Brett's gonna go yes.
Oh,
Here we
I
go.
think Josh like remembers this, not being an idiot. He looked at me like, "Are you dumb, Jeff?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't remember much of this book.
I walked into this trap.
I might have." Now the question is, he said he was going to pick the opposite of me. Did I trap him back?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so good Brett bet. We'll just see how it plays out. But I'm excited.
I think I do want to add too, though. Like, so how about the new purpose of the Blackguard, or what the Blackguard
The Blackguard or the
is
White
now?
Guard?
The Blackguard is responsible because Grimwoody had the black seed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's right. That was, That's right, because
Which-
the reason that they make everything is in the box. It wasn't black luxon; it was the black seed crystal.
Seed
I
crystal.
forgot that.
Which for those
That
of you
means
who
there is a
didn't-
white
for those
seed
of you who
crystal.
didn't say that there wasn't gonna be a god, there's a black seed out there, so
There could be a god.
there
Oh my
definitely
God.
all that has to do is someone with the ability to draft it has to get
Holy
that,
shit.
right?
So
Brett's like, what did I
forgot,
vote?
I forgot all about that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fuck, I changed my answer.
Oh my! I forgot. I forgot.
Yeah, 'cause
I
he
was thinking
has
it was
that.
black luxon, but you're right. It was
It's
a black,
the
seed,
black
crystal.
seed crystal,
Oh
meaning
my
that
god! Oh my god!
There's
so
definitely
stupid.
the possibility someone's gonna
I'm
get
gonna
that.
change my answer.
You
then.
can't change your
Why?
answer.
It's in the same book.
no, this is awesome.
It's in
leave
the
it. Leave
same
it.
book.
It doesn't mean that it'll happen.
It's gotta happen.
It depends on how they use the seed crystal, but that also means there might be a white seed crystal.
Yeah,
somewhere.
and who's gonna be
Okay.
trying to get that?
So here, and remember, Gavin drafted white. He doesn't know he drafted white. He thinks he only drafted black.
Yeah.
In his breakout scene, we're gonna talk about it in depth. But I was getting so pissed at him because he's like, I guess I could just kill everyone and draft black. And Ben's like, yes, do it. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be that sad. But
There's Ben on this shoulder, Jeff on this shoulder
Yeah.
of Gavin.
But then I'm like, Gavin, you can do white. Try to do white. I don't know if Gray would let you do
well,
white though.
he does the first time it was he does this pure white blast at the King
Yeah.
Gardul, right?
Sure.
And that's when the white luxon falls out.
Well, we don't know
It was like
exactly.
an all-color blast, and it
Yeah,
Turned
and
into
he, or something. But it was like I'm
color
surprised
scheme?
that they kind of like when that initially happened, like a little piece of white because he faints and a little piece of white falls out. I'm surprised they didn't even like kind of talk about like everyone being like, what the hell did the prism just do?
Yeah.
Like he blasted like some crazy thing, killed everyone except somehow the king, which is crazy.
That blast. I think
that's-
somewhere in there he didn't just. I think at first we were thinking he combined the colors to do white, but I think maybe white is just altogether different.
Yeah.
And so I think he has the ability. We know he has the ability to draft white. He doesn't know he has the ability to draft white. He
because
does
I
think he
first
can
picked it up and hit it.
right.
Yeah.
The
Shows
white
it to the
knows.
white later.
He
Yeah,
does
right.
show it
Yeah,
to
when
the
he shows
white.
her the white, she starts
Yeah.
crying.
So that's interesting. We don't know how that's going to play out, but I was like, damn it, do white. I don't know if you could get that
So
from gray or not.
potentially, Iron Fist is the only person alive that knows them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, and the white.
Unless he
White's
told
dead.
Grimway.
Dead.
Oh yeah, you're right. Alive now.
Yeah. So unless he told the order.
Yeah, unless he
And
told
then-
the order. So, but we know, they got
Which
the white.
means we'll probably find out pretty quickly in the next book if Iron Fist is keeping stuff from the order, because I would imagine that
They
come
would,
up,
if
would
they
come
know
up.
it, it's
Yeah, I
they're
guess
gonna
we'll
use
find
it.
out. So the
Because they could maybe make a new blinding knife.
yeah.
To create
That's
prisms.
Well, they
interesting,
said that something about the Blackguard's purpose was to protect the
Black
Black
Seed
Seed
the
Crystal.
Black Seed Crystal,
Because that's also
the real but they also use it to kill prisoners
Prisms.
or something. but
create prisms.
well,
No, to
how did they
kill.
say it at the end? They
At the
said
end, it says that they use
So-
the black sea crystal.
they
to
must
create
use the
prisms.
blinding knife to create prisms. Somehow they use a blinding knife to create prisms, and the seed crystal to kill them. Is that
Yeah.
that makes no
Maybe.
sense though, because the blinding knife takes all their colors.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing
unless
is-
they take all the colors from some different people?
Do you think
and
it's
then give
possible
it-
that the blinding knife was just created by the Black Seed Crystal somehow? And
He
that,
tells Iron Fist that it is a weapon that kills prisms and luxon, and that it is the tool that will rewrite history for the Order.
Okay.
Yeah. Because in one of the flashbacks,
Yeah.
through the cards, I believe, they showed someone stabbing someone and bringing the red luxon out of it into a crystal, and they used that crystal to like paint something or infuse something else.
Yeah.
They like drain the crystal.
The original, or one of the
Black chokers.
not the chokers that creates
Oh, the shimmer cloak.
the shimmer
Shimmer
cloak.
cloak.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay.
they infused like one color.
Okay.
So it's possible they can do that and put all 7 into a
into a
prism.
person, and then that makes a prism somehow. So, but then they use the Black
Yeah.
Seed Crystal later to kill him.
But that's
Or-
also the thing is, Dazen was definitely never stabbed.
You would have remembered
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
So
So,
I thought maybe he was asleep and just like
no.
Is this a way to artificially create a prism and then a natural bone?
That's what I think. I think they artificially made a prism
Well,
because
there's
they're rare. but
maybe
then
Gavin,
Dazen
the
was
original?
a true, like, you know how there's a mirror and like
Yeah.
these powers. He was actually born a real prism. Because the mirror, Janice Boris said, "Oh, prisms are not as rare as these type and these type. Like a prism and a mirror come around only once a generation or so." And so, like, I think they did. They created a prism.
in Gavin.
Or they've always been
Gavin.
creating
Yeah,
them.
they
They've
found a way
been
to create
creative
it.
then, but then one was born. It might
At
be
the same
really
time,
rare,
yeah.
right?
So I wonder if they've been creating prisms and historically using the black prism to hunt down and kill the real prisms to keep control over.
Yeah,
people.
could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well-
Well, they definitely.
Because there's gotta, if they've been creating prisms for that long,
Yeah.
there had to have been
Some
legitimate
other ones.
prisms in
Like,
there.
at the
I think
same
there's
time.
people
Yeah.
who could become prisms.
Maybe
But,
they'll
like,
never realize their powers.
Dazen, it was like he was pushed to the limit and he started spinning like.
Yeah.
So maybe people who could be a prism don't go through that.
Or
they just stay.
To be a prism, is it that you have to be a full spectrum polychrome and able to split light? And then once
Yeah.
you could do both, you become the prism.
Do you think that there's any possibility that somehow whoever created Gavin also saw an opportunity to set something in motion and created Dazen at the same time?
Well,
like they double
like they
created a
didn't
prism.
I don't
like
know.
on purpose to set some type of like
event.
miss belief in the Chromarium, maybe
Wow.
the order of the eye or whatever, like
Yeah.
set something up.
This is good. I mean,
But, like,
we don't really
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, not
well,
even anyone in Chromeria or people know, because they're like, how what is the actual inauguration of the prism.
Nobody
what
knows.
happened.
Nobody knows
Yeah.
except for
And
the prism.
the
Only 2 people know.
luxon, what
Yeah.
are the Luxia?
The Luxia.
Is it-
They keep it like hush hush.
Yeah.
Who are the 2 people that know? It's Iron Fist
no,
and...
the red and the ultraviolet are the only, 2
ones
people.
left.
Oh,
From the
Original one.
I
Yeah.
thought
Everyone
they
else
said that
died.
the head of the Blackguard did something.
Well, the head of the Iron Fist says he tells, I think, who did he tell?
His uncle.
Karris.
That
He
they
tells
Karris.
Karris that
his job's to kill the
that
prism,
that
isn't it?
the prism actually breaks the halo eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just can't see it in their eyes, but they actually do break the halo, and they go crazy.
He
And
says
when
he
the
says it to
Blackguard
Karris, and then Karris thinks it reminds something that the White told her and something that she learned, and then that's when the Iron Fist is like, "You know something, but you're not telling me," and she's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, the White told me that this would happen. That at one point you would stop confiding in me, and that you would be apologetic."
Yeah.
And then that's not necessarily a bad thing.
And then the other thing is that we find out that Iron Fist was paying way more close attention to all of the politics than you had originally thought.
Like
Yeah.
all of the things that he was doing in the library and
Yeah.
the books that he was reading were
Yeah.
much more intense than you would imagine.
Yeah.
One thing I think that's interesting too is they mentioned this in one of the earlier books is that when they were young, Gavin and Dazen, Andros takes Gavin away.
Yep.
And then when he returns, Gavin is different and stops playing and talking and being nice to Dazen,
yeah.
and he starts to solely work with his father. So you think, like, is that when they took away and did a ritual way before he even became Prism and be like,
create the prism.
to create him as a Prism, and
Yeah.
Dazen could be, like we said, maybe just
Natural.
Because
A natural.
there was also Dazen, or the actual Dazen, also thought that he showed Gavin the black cards at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That could be another explanation. But
Um,
this
But we don't know. But
is
it's-
super interesting.
As a reminder, what was Iron Fist's motive in the library?
we don't know.
We don't know it yet.
I thought he was investigating what was how the
All of the
Luxiats
policies?
were making
The prisms.
prisms.
Okay. Yeah, because it was
And
tied
he says
his-
to her like, "I've been researching it and I can't find
Find it. They
anything
won't
written
record
about this.
records.
They won't
Yeah,
record it."
gotcha. So, yeah, that's
And that's
really-
crazy to think, though, with, like, I mean, it's got to be recorded somewhere because, like, what if one of the 2 people or what if the people
Die, yeah,
die?
and then-
It's like,
I
Well,
think they're
shit out of
okay
luck.
with it though.
they're
They
just
might
okay
just-
with taking that
They'd
risk.
rather
so that
not have
nobody,
any knowledge
yeah,
of it
yeah.
than.
Well, but
Oh,
Andros
have
has
it
to
in
know,
the-
right?
He does.
Does he?
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah, so there's
He was-
3 because there's Andros, the ultraviolet, and
Or does
red.
he just
Well, he is the
know
red.
a little bit of it?
Oh, like the red. Yeah, he's the red one.
The ultraviolet and the red are the only ones left.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
Andros
that's
and the
right.
ultraviolet.
I'm
Yeah, it was the
assuming
red.
there's another library. Like the White has a private library or
Maybe,
something.
yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm just guessing the orders.
Kip has, if he could access it, he probably has the information because he has the White's card.
Oh yeah.
So, that's pretty.
Yeah, but he can't
interesting.
remember anything now. It's just lame.
Yeah, well,
It's not that he can't. He just at the moment can.
Yeah.
It comes to him,
yeah.
which I'm really excited to find out what
How
it
he's-
is.
How about that whole scene when he does finally break the bag and then the cards?
Yeah, so
like,
we go.
just-
So let's talk. Should we shift from the? Are we good
Yeah.
with the broken eye? We could, or the order of the broken eye. We could go to Kip.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Kip, we find out he has fever dreams of gods and shit like that, and he's clearly doing more and more to sell his Lightbringer-esque status. But he does kick this bag that we talked about earlier, trying to break it.
Yeah.
And
And he doesn't break his toe doing it.
oh boy. I almost feel like we should put a little slit.
I
in
think
this
like you
punching
should.
bag
That's exactly why
and
I
then
said it. I was
reinforce
like,
it.
cut to a video clip of this happening to our friend.
Yeah.
Cut back to us.
So
I wish
but
we had a clip.
I got so excited when he found the
blocks.
cards like in the heavy bag. But the thing that I realized that Kip is still kind of a dummy is he picked it up with his blood on his knuckles, and that's how he
It got
Yeah.
activated.
activated the trap, right? Well, I don't think it was really a
Not
trap.
necessarily a trap.
Yeah, so he thinks it might have been a trap, and it might have been, but I think it's more of like I don't know,
I think it was just a seal.
a seal.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the cards go onto his skin, and then he dies. And when he dies, he doesn't go where normal people go. I guess he's kind of dying, and he goes.
He's
to
dying. He's not
The
dead.
library.
He
And
goes,
he
to,
goes to
he goes
the-
to King's Cross.
Yes. Yes.
Who do you guys think the angel or the demon. That he...
Where he actually ends up going to the crossroads.
The crossroads.
Bum, bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum.
Well, it seems like
Tell me what.
earlier there was a story that the book and I told about 200 people leaving. What's his name? The god.
Diabetes.
Or Holem?
Diabetes?
Yeah,
The
Oh,
real
or
guy.
Holem.
Oh, or
Like
Holem.
200 people like left or kicked out,
The original 200, yeah.
and then
like fallen angels or
yeah,
something.
and then he was like one of those
Okay.
like immortals.
Well, what about the librarian? The librarian was there
Yeah,
too.
I
She's
think
like
she's
an
one of
angel
them
or
too.
something. But she was nice. She's like a good one. He's like dark and evil.
Yeah.
I loved Kit, how he couldn't stop like even like sassing off to a
I know.
like a demon.
I absolutely love how every single time, like, it never gets old for me, even though
Kip
he's
the lip.
probably done it like 50 times. How he just, yep, there's Kip the lip, Kip the lip, Kip the lip. And I love it how every single time he has him just have that inner monologue.
Okay, I'm gonna go get one more beverage to split with Hitman. But
Okay.
here's what I gotta leave you guys. Start discussing this. So I love the concept. Not only does this guy have a gun, right? He made
We need to get a portable
gun.
microphone for Jeff for when he goes upstairs to get
He
drinks.
he also has this this cloak, right? And he's got, but first before
He's got
the
this
cloak,
cloak.
yeah, before the cloak, he's wearing a jacket of skin,
Human skin.
human
Yeah.
skin, and
I was like, what the f?
and I know,
Yeah.
and then he has this gun that he made, and then you find out that if they go into real time, where they're outside of time right now, they're like outside of space time. When they go in there, they can never get that time back because they lived it.
Yeah.
So, like, Kip realized that they have a weakness in that sense.
Oh my gosh, and
because
when he starts
it was
laughing.
So,
oh
yeah.
my god.
Because he gets him to touch him in his moment or whatever. And so
Yeah.
then that guy can never go back to that moment and change it. And it's like, you'll always be wondering. And nor can he go to any other moment anywhere else in the world because he's there at that moment.
Right.
So I thought that was just an awesome concept.
Yeah.
Because literally, it's like a huge handicap. I'd be afraid to go anywhere in case I needed to be.
In
somewhere
case you
else.
need to go there, yeah.
It's just like so crazy.
But really quick before you leave, Jeff, because I want to get your input on this. I was a little confused. I wish I would have reread this chapter because I was a little confused.
I did.
Because
I read it twice.
Because when he went in there, he's like, yeah, chances are you're probably dying, but it's okay. We have time because time doesn't exist here. And then like 3 minutes later, he's like, better fucking hurry up. You're going to die soon.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
what?
I think he
I
was
was a
trying to
little
relax
confused.
him. I think
Yeah.
time is different. So
Time is different.
It's working different there, but that doesn't mean it's not going. It's just not going as fast.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
got.
But he like literally said like, we
Time
got all the
doesn't matter.
time in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
world.
And then all of a sudden,
Well, he was trying to disarm him.
I think he
Yeah,
was. I think he was
probably.
trying
Just
to disarm him in the sense that he wanted him to kind of
Just
like
chill out
relax
for a second.
and
Yeah.
And not hurry.
And then he
Yeah.
started to realize, oh, we don't have that much time. All right, you better start worrying. You're gonna die soon.
Well, and then when I'll tell you when I go.
We gotta give him that portable microphone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene I thought was super interesting. And like I said, I love all the scenes where you like interact with like gods because I just like the idea of just being like, oh, this is just like a dude. It's like, yeah,
Well,
he's
he's
probably
technically not a god.
greater than he's something though.
Something.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's a god in the sense that Gavin's a god. He's like
Oh,
some
okay.
exceptional being, I
Gotcha.
guess. But yeah. But at this point, the Lightbringer is nothing but like almost rumor, right? Like there's nobody alive that actually lived during his time, is there?
Correct.
Yeah.
You're
So-
absolutely
those
right.
guys.
Yeah. Which
the,
guys?
The demon. And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
librarian.
But you think too, like, where do they come from? Is there like are they could be like minions of Olaham or
Olaham.
Yeah.
The minions of Abraham Lincoln.
But of the opposite of that,
Minions of
because
Oldham.
obviously that's like maybe like the white, and then there's gonna be like a black, almost like God. And are those minion? Is that a minion of that?
Right.
Like, or somehow associated with that?
What was weird is like in that whole dialogue that he has, which I totally need to reread that section too,
Yeah.
Brett, because
Yeah.
I feel like there was just so much
So
that
much.
happened.
Yeah.
that
I read
was
it twice.
overwhelming
Yeah.
I
for
went
me.
back. I had to.
There was that one point in which he's like, he makes the differential, or he makes the statement that there's a good one and there's a bad one. One will help you now, one will help you in your hour of need, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, wait a minute. I didn't quite grasp or understand it. I'm like, wait a minute, who is the good guy and who is the bad guy?
Are you talking about like one? You mean, what do you mean by one?
Well, what is it? The Lightbringer.
That guy, Diabetes.
Diacactus.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
He makes a statement like, one of us will help you, the other one will use you, or something
He
like
also
that.
makes a statement where he's like, oh, you're thinking right about now that I'm being awfully helpful for a villain,
For a
or something
villain.
like that. And he's like it's like he almost realizes that he's like morally gray, like a gray area of morality. Like, oh, I'm bad and I'm good. I'm this and I'm that. It's almost like he self-recognizes that. It was really weird.
I definitely need to
But
reread that.
Yeah.
I felt like he was saying that to waste time.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so. I think he was like literally just
Wanting
trying to
Kip to
stall Kip to die. Yes,
Yeah.
that he would die.
Like,
But
his
then
tone
why
of
does he
things-
start telling him that
That you're
he's
running out of
dying?
time. Yeah. What's the point of that?
I think what he also wanted is Kip to give him the cards.
Yeah, he wanted.
So what happened is Kip had all the tattoos. The cards
Yeah.
all became the tattoos because of where they are on his skin.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to like go through them. And as he was going through them, they became information. They were protected from that place where all information is stored. And then when he was going through the cards, it was releasing the information from its seal and allowing it to go to the library. And while it would go to its new shelf where all information is stored, he was copying them in the cloak. So he was like copying the cloak. What I wanted to ask, because I forgot to check this again on the second time through. He starts with the cloak of human skin. Was he capturing the cards on that cloak, or did he switch already? Because Kip looks down and looks up, and when he looks up, he's wearing a new cloak.
Yeah.
That's
The leather cloak.
The shimmer cloak.
the shimmer cloak. So he goes from the human skin to the shimmer cloak.
The shimmer cloak is what he was
Capturing the
capturing
cards.
on.
So then
Perfect.
Kip gets that,
Kip gets
so
it,
he
good.
doesn't get the half.
That's what I wanted to make sure, because I couldn't remember, because I think it would be terrible.
Because he sheds the skin changes when he lets his wings out
Yeah.
to the leather cloak or whatever.
I think the same thing. Maybe he
No,
just
well-
stopped showing it as making it appear like it's skin. Maybe the shimmer cloaks are actually made of like
Human skin or something.
human skin, and
I
it's
think-
just like he just changed the appearance.
I think that's like the original shimmer cloak that all
Yeah.
others are based off of.
Yeah,
right?
the
Yeah.
original.
What if actually, I think we already know how the original Shimmer. But I was gonna say, what if they're actually made out of? Because people that can do peril can actually make them without the cloaks. What if they're actually made out
Peril
of people's
skins?
skin? If we're peril skinned,
Like,
Yeah, like a light splitter
like
skin.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, I could see it.
it's
Yeah.
pretty gross.
But either way,
It's kind of hot.
either way, whatever it is,
Hey
it's,
Jeff,
yes.
I'm gonna peel your skin and wear it for my birthday.
Anyway,
the strange thing is Manny says that all the time anyway before this book. Yeah, he's just psychotic like that.
But what if Kip didn't grab the cloak, but he grabbed the gun instead?
Yeah. Oh shit! Remember how he's like, "Oh shit, this is for you. I know it's for you for some reason," and he gives it to Tia, and he's like, "Shit, the gun was for me."
Yeah. That would have been amazing. A gun you never need to reload, you just
Yeah.
fire.
I don't,
there is
I don't know
another
why,
gun
but
like
for
that
some
already.
reason, I really
Oh,
love
yeah,
that
the
line
blinding
of
knife.
I basically had to defy the laws of reality or whatever in order to make this gun. I don't know why I just liked that line. I
Well,
almost had to.
So there's clearly like rules, because the one thing that happened is Kip goads that guy to come into his time, and then he's laughing at him because he came into the time.
Yeah.
And he can't go anywhere else now. But the other thing that happens is that pisses him off so much he strikes him. And then when he strikes him, he's immediately like booted from the space by maybe it's Arholem or we don't know. Like some
you've
kind of
crossed the line. You've done something that you're not allowed to do.
you're not
Yeah.
allowed. So he's like bound in a way to certain rules. And I think that's really interesting too, because that means no matter what they're doing, there's something even one step
It
more.
was so, the description was so awesome about how powerful he is, and then it's like the ocean just came, sucked him out, and didn't leave a trace. And
Yeah.
you can't fight the ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's
like
what the library was.
Like a little kid defying a wave from the
Yeah.
ocean.
It's just, and it's gone, no trace, no nothing.
yeah, it was a really cool description. And so then you're like, oh,
They also kind of make
interesting.
a vague reference to like computers and AI, don't they? Like
Well, they talk about
infusing a machine with will or something like that.
Yeah.
He talks about because he's outside of time. he's actually wearing clothes under his cloak that are from the future.
From the future, yeah.
And they're like a suit pants or something.
Yeah,
And
I was
he's
gonna say
like-
it'd be funny. He's just wearing like jeans and a backwards hat.
Yeah. Get it? Yeah. So that scene was so nuts because then you're starting to realize like, this world is so interesting. What are the Everdark Gates and what is this? Like, there's so much more.
We don't know. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, at the
Yeah.
beginning, like, you kind of learn a lot of stuff that you're like, God, I still don't have any clue what the hell is going on with this magic system and the religion. And we're in book 3. Do we know is book 5 his final?
Yeah. Final book.
So
Yeah,
we're halfway through the series, and it's all of a sudden like, hey, we're going to give you some brand new stuff to ponder that you
That's
have
why
no idea.
I can only imagine that the last book and it's just going to be like the most epic. Yeah.
I know that word was
I
coming.
get the feeling. I don't know. I
Captain
just
would hate me.
I get the feeling that even after book 4, we're gonna. I mean, I guess this is the way most series work. But even after book 4, I feel like we're gonna feel like, oh, we're just being fed all this stuff that's gonna become important when it matters in book 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, I feel like
It's all
of
gonna
this
click.
is just set up.
We've been
and
fed
then it's
all these
all gonna
seeds.
click.
Yeah.
And it makes that's how I feel with Stormlight Archive.
Yeah.
And it just makes me so sad that we're probably like 15 years away from the end of
No,
that.
yeah.
I think the estimate end date is 2040.
What's it really?
Well, fuck my life.
Jeez.
Just to give you a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
2040.
Well, luckily this one ends in
Oh, Ben,
about
I'm sure that you
20 to
meant to
40
give him
days.
hope.
So
Yeah.
Let's like, give you some
Let's
Let's
be
say
real,
maybe
guys.
a-
We're gonna be
those 20 years.
podcasting about
Maybe it'd be dead.
Stormlight until we're ancient.
yeah, I'm gonna
my God.
have my live-in nurse while we're doing the last Stormlight book. Yeah.
I'm gonna have my depends on.
Yeah.
As we do the podcast.
So
I have to
this-
go upstairs. You guys sit here and talk about this while I'll go get a last assure. Me
So-
and Ben are gonna.
Ben's going to be performing the freeing for us at our final book reading. It's like, good night.
All right.
A long night.
You lost that Brett back.
Or Harlan forgives you.
I love saying or Harlem with like a or Harlem
Or Harlem.
or Harlem. So
Yeah, I
like,
love saying
like
it too. Hold the hum.
Hold the ham.
Hold the hab forgives you. All right, so we're getting out of control. You can
Yeah.
tell. So we got to go back. So he leaves.
Wait, before we finish, before we move on from this dude, one of the comments or the lines that he says is, "I spent many of my eternities creating this."
Yeah.
And then at first, Kip is like, "What? What does this idiot mean?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then he realizes the whole when he goes into time, he can't go back and
many
revisit
of his
it.
precious
He's like,
days.
"Oh, I completely understand now what he meant by I spent many of my
No, precious days.
Yeah, he said
Was it
precious,
Precious
days.
eternity.
Many of his
or precious eternities."
No,
I thought it was precious
Precious
eternities.
days. Because what's the datum? Because he has eternity.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's how it was. Yeah, it was
I'm
something like that.
99%
I don't
sure.
know about that.
Well, either way, we get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Kip kind of understood it and used
Yeah.
it immediately to his advantage.
Made
So-
fun of him.
Something that's really cool. Something that's really
the
cool
lip.
now. Kip has the cards are now like they're
On
done.
him.
They're
Yeah.
done. But he
They're
like
in him.
they're in him. Yeah. So how much freaking crazy information if he could tap that power does that guy have now? If you think about it, he's got like everyone like that.
Well, and also how close to insanity is he? Because
Yeah.
like every time he goes in,
Dude,
like
the
he can
scene
lose himself.
is awesome when Andros Guile come in, and then he like goes into that whole scene, and then the next thing he hears is I know I said that like an idiot.
When Andrews Kyle come in.
I know I said it like an
Sorry.
idiot. I get excited, and I'm just tired. But I love it because he like does this whole thing, and then he just hears the door click.
Yeah.
And he realized that like no time passed, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna go insane if this keeps happening to me." That was really well done. But I think about it. So he's got the white. He has like, what do we see? Gunner, Tyr. He actually has. I think he has Gavin and Dazen. He has pretty much everybody who's of
Matters.
name in like like now.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, if you think about that, he technically knows deeply everybody's motivations.
Do we know?
He's got all the
Are
cards.
the cards' knowledge set when it's created?
It doesn't
Or does
seem
it
like it.
have more? Like, can you visit the same card multiple times and get different stuff? I don't know if we've ever seen that.
Oh.
Like, is it as set? Like, this is the information and that's all it holds,
Or is it
or
like
is it
a-
like,
like,
this is
this
the
is the
entire
book?
life?
No,
Yeah.
Of the person,
My
yeah.
understanding is that if you risked insanity or death, you could literally
Keep going.
do the whole thing. Yeah.
Jeez.
Because Andros thought he had it done when he was young, and that's all. The
Yeah, and there wouldn't be
any.
anything from the future on it.
But-
It would just have up to that point.
When Kip saw it, he saw him writing the letter
Yeah.
to.
But was
the
that
Prince.
was that the new one?
No, that was the hooded. That was Andros had a new persona
Oh,
that
did
was
he?
made into a new card.
Yeah.
But we don't know if he did the Andros style one, if it lasts until that person changes, or does it we don't know the
Yeah.
the rules about it.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about how
And
those
Ross
cards
is
Surprised a mirror can even live in this world. Like, you would think that every powerful person in the
Would
world would
want
be
that
looking
dead,
for
yeah.
every
That's
single
why she was
mirror
hiding.
ever.
Well, she
That's why
she
was
had to
hiding.
have been spent her entire life that way. Hiding.
Yeah.
But it's funny that they take these almost priceless artifacts and we're going to turn it into a game and put these out in circulation.
I know.
It's
Yeah,
really
they
interesting. But I think a big part
Do
of
you
it is
think
there's
there's
very few people who know how to
Yeah,
use them.
I think
But
it's
do you think that
misdirection. They make it a game.
That's
so
what I was
it's
gonna say.
So people don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing behind it.
Like,
So if
the
anybody
original
finds a
is-
real one, they'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's one of these
I'm gonna
fucking
sell it.
cards."
And it's
yeah.
just original with money, not. There's no secret history.
Yeah.
That makes
no,
sense.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also don't know if it's normal for the cards to be used. It seems like what happened to Kip was different because the cards
Because he
went
has
dead.
enough colors.
Well,
too.
the cards went dead. So what I'm saying is is it that when you use the card and you see a moment, that moment is gone, kind of like the precious eternities or whatever, or is it that normal people when they use it, the power is still in the card, the original. When Kip did them, the cards were dead afterwards.
Well,
Like, he
I-
lived the
I
whole
got-
life.
I
think
got
he
the
lived
feeling
He
that-
absorbed the
He
entire
absorbed
thing.
it, yeah.
So
I got the feeling I like the idea of it being once you experience it, it's gone, kind of like the Lightbringer
Precious
said.
days. Yeah.
But I think that it's just because something special about Kip absorbed it. I'm guessing that's why.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
which one it is. I was just thinking how would they go dead?
Yeah.
Every other card, if you use it, you can still use it, but in every other time,
Well,
people just do moments.
Have we
glimpses.
experienced anybody else ever looking at a card?
Not in writing yet.
Not in
Not
writing yet.
yet.
So if we ever come
He
across a
experienced
scene,
it with
Janice,
with
but
Janice.
that was still him.
if
Yeah.
if we ever, so when he experienced it with Janice,
Yeah.
was there any
Chandler
Bang. Was there any description of there being any type of ink on his fingers or any little bit
I don't
of
think
absorption or transfer?
Nothing
I
that
don't
we-
think
No,
so.
I don't believe so.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm like.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
then
know.
Janice
Yeah.
also brought him
It's a
back
cool idea, though.
immediately. She's
Yeah.
like, you
Don't
can't be
stay
in there
too
for
long.
too long.
Right.
So
But-
that's why I'm wondering if he's there too long, he might absorb it.
Yeah.
Or maybe that moment, that
Do you think
brief
that's
moment
what
of the
causes
life
you
is
to go
gone.
crazy?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Do you think the absorption of the card is what causes you to go crazy?
I don't know.
I think.
Or do you think he was
so.
able to absorb it because he's just stronger than most people and he's not going crazy?
I think that the issue is that you're actually 100% going back, and the more colors you have, the more of it you experience. And I
Yeah.
think the risk is having with someone like Kip having all the colors, he can experience everything to such an extent that he'll lose himself. Maybe not that he'll
He's
become
engulfing all of
that
that.
person,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he won't even know that he's not himself anymore because it just destroys his mind because he's become it so completely.
Yep. that's
So
what
it's
I'm
almost
thinking.
not like you're experiencing this as you. It's almost like you're experiencing it as them, and it's
Yep.
reforming your
Yep.
brain.
Yeah.
You know what
Ah.
I was going to ask is we know that there's potentially 11 colors. We know Kip can draft 7.
Didn't someone say 12? I
Or
thought
12.
Janice said
I
12.
thought it was 11 or 12. Maybe
It was
13,
11 or
whatever it
12.
was,
Janice
yeah.
is the one who said that.
Whatever
And
the
that
real
includes
number
Peril
is,
and all
though.
that?
Peril's one. We don't know if Kip could draft Peril or not. We don't know if he's a light splitter. We don't know if he could draft black or white. We don't know if there's other colors.
Oh, do we
Was the
consider
light-
black and white
was
would be
the
10?
Lightbringer-
If there's
Peril.
7, then there's Peril. And
That's
let's
8.
say there's black and white.
Well, they
That's
no,
10.
That's
no,
10.
it's been drafted.
What's that?
Black and white have already
Exactly.
been
So
drafted.
let's say that
So we
that's
got 10.
counts. So that's 10.
There's
But
2
she
others.
said there was more.
Well, 11, I thought. but-
11 or 12. She says one of the two. So the other one could be what's at the opposite end next to ultraviolet.
That was
Peril is on
okay.
Ultra.
up
you're
past
right.
red.
Yeah.
Because there's
Sub-red.
subred, and then there's
Infrared.
peril. Or,
no,
it's-
you're
I
right.
think subred
yeah,
is...
subred.
Subred
peril.
is infrared.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I was
heat.
going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then ultraviolet, and then something above that.
Yeah. Maybe there is.
That we just don't know about yet.
Combination of everything.
Yeah.
No, that
But
would
that's
be white
white,
light.
right?
Yeah, white. But you could argue that, but they're using it differently. So,
Yeah.
anyway, that's going to be something. So, what would you expect? Like, if you had peril and you have the empathy part of it, how much more insane would you be then? Because then not only are you that person, you had all the colors and peril. You'd be. But sometimes Kip surprises me with how quickly he understands people. It's almost like I wonder. It seems like he can't draft peril, but I wonder.
Well, I don't think he's ever tried either.
Yeah.
He definitely goes subred. So
Yeah. He does the subred.
So,
But-
dude, subred is awesome because the shimmer cloaks can't even protect you from that.
Yeah.
It's
Which
just
is which kind of makes sense because it's the almost we're assuming now it's like the near opposite end. Or no, wait, is subred? Do we think it's
Peril's
subred
below
then peril,
subred.
and then we think ultraviolet, and maybe there's something after ultraviolet? Okay.
Yeah. But peril also can refract everything. So like when she makes that cloud, she could protect herself from even that
Subred,
because
yeah.
she could refract the light around her. True invisibility. But the shimmer cloak, the reason she realizes the original shimmer cloak, even the current shimmer cloaks, but the original is so important is because it's number one, teaching her that she can she only has to focus on worrying about ultraviolet and subred, not everything
All of
else.
them,
And
yeah.
that would be like insanely. It'd be like, what did she describe it? Her description was awesome. It'd be like juggling, walking, doing flips,
Running, juggling, and-
yeah, like doing all these crazy things at the same
Jumping,
time. Yeah. So Kip and Andrastea strike a little allegiance, and the mighty, which I'm really happy to see that the mighty left with him,
Yes.
even though it killed Cruxer. Come on, it's gonna be way cooler to go on this adventure.
I just
Like,
really
what?
like that these guys,
I mean,
because I think sometimes when
but if-
people get like really
died.
in, what's
Who
that?
died? Nobody died.
Oh, you said it
Oh.
killed Cruxer.
Oh, killed them to leave the Blackguard.
Oh.
I meant like emotionally.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I understood it.
So, yeah, me too.
Sorry,
So,
guys.
One thing
Didn't
that
mean
I
to scare
really liked to see about that group of the Blackguard is I think sometimes when people get like so into like a group or society or something like that, sometimes they start valuing that group or society over the ideals that it's supposed to stand for. Like sometimes people can get like really into like their country and then they overlook bad things that their country does because it's like, no, I need to be loyal to my country. It's like, no, you need to be loyal to the ideals that your country stood for,
Yeah.
And it's like I like that they were able to stick with the ideals. Their ideals are to like, do what's right, to protect the right people, and it's like I feel like all of the honor bound stuff that kept them in the Blackguard
They
would be
kept
completely
when they left.
fine
Yeah.
with them leaving the Blackguard for the reason that they're leaving. You know what I mean?
Was that
So-
scene not insane? When
The zip
after
line.
Zion- not just a zip line. I mean, we'll get to the zip line, but they're just like getting through the building. They go all the way down, and then they're like, "Oh shit, we got to go all the way back."
Yeah.
and I
Turn
mean,
around.
like the amount of, that was like a movie in my mind.
Oh,
where it's
yeah,
like
that
you're
whole
constantly,
scene.
just like constantly, every scene was like barely making it out. What's his name? The smart guy.
Ben
Haddad. Ruins his leg. That guy was awesome.
yeah. He also has a card.
He does have a card. He's a genius.
Yeah.
So you know
I
he's
thought
going
it
to
was-
be
He
a badass.
reinvents how to create the
There-
spectacle.
He did something with the specters. He also made the
He
wheelchair.
made the
for the way.
wheelchair.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
robotics.
There's one specific line in that entire like
I
don't
think
know
it's
how many
11,
pages.
guys.
11.
Oh, okay.
So
And the-
it's got Peril, White, Black, and Chi.
Oh, we don't know that one yet.
Oh, they did
Cool.
mention it in this book though.
They did. What did they say when they mentioned it
The-
again?
In the order said we don't have a chi.
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
Okay, awesome.
And is Chi
Nice.
above
We don't
Chi
Superviolet?
is much higher on the spectrum of light than Superviolet.
It's above. It's above.
Oh.
Yeah, so that would make sense. Peril's below.
That's cheating though.
Nice.
We
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh, we didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, we probably didn't know that. We could assume.
No, we assumed it.
In this
We
book,
guessed that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
confirmed our guess. But anyway.
It probably comes out
They
in this
only
book.
mentioned it the one time I believe.
Okay.
They didn't have a chi.
I remember that now. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But there was one in this entire chapter, which was pretty long. I remember there was one specific line that made the whole chapter better for me. And that was when Kip first says, like, no, we need to go up. And everybody's, like, on board. And only Tia has, like, kind of some reservations about it. And then they show, like, from her point of view, Tia knows this is wrong. Like, she doesn't say, like, she thinks it's wrong. She knows that... She said... He has her say specifically in her head that she knows it's wrong. And, like, that made the whole chapter better for me.
Yeah.
Because if that one line wasn't in there, I'd probably be like, well, Kip knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Kip definitely knows what he's doing. Like, I wouldn't have the same, like, intensity. But because he put that one line in there, the entire chapter was enhanced for me because I was just like, does Kip know what he's doing?
Well, the worst is, like, towards the end, they're like, they've just decided to follow him, and they essentially were reserved to death.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it was.
Right.
Yeah, Crux was like, next time just say you're sure.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for us. Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't have this like uncertainty.
Yeah.
How about when the teacher helped them?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Remember when Kip saved her? She's like, I was
Yeah.
going to commit suicide in a week anyway.
Or no, she's like, I was gonna commit suicide. I already had a date planned.
Yeah. That was
I won't say it
so
was
awesome.
a week.
Oh yeah, that's so awesome. That
Yeah,
he
that-
just did that on a whim.
She's like, I was spending the last 5 months trying to figure out how to thank you.
Just did it. And then the other thing, the other teacher just slams the door. I know a secret way out. Slams the door.
But I'm not
That wasn't the
Kip.
teacher.
That was a
another.
student.
That was a student that he
Yeah.
punched.
Yeah.
Oh,
That he
yeah,
fought
yeah.
like as soon as he
No, it was a luxon.
he joined the Blackguard.
I thought it was Alexa.
Yeah.
No, it was the dude that said, "Oh, but since Kip is with you, I'd rather you die."
I definitely know it's the guy that he fought.
Yeah, it's the
but
guy
I
that
don't
he
know
fought.
what that guy is.
Did you guys catch?
Pretty sure just
Did you guys catch that Quentin is the one
Who shot the girl?
The girl.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I know.
Wait, what?
So in the cards, Quentin has a card.
Yeah.
And you also get.
I don't know if he
flash-
has a card or he was a part of somebody else's card.
or part of.
Oh,
either
he's
way,
the one that shot that was supposed to kill.
He
Kip.
tried to
Kip.
kill
Yeah.
Kip.
Yeah.
And then so the
And he
crazy
killed
thing is a
Cruxer's
girlfriend.
blue put him up to it.
The Luxiat put him up
Yeah,
to
the
it.
Luxiat put him up to it, and then he actually tried to shoot Kip during that exercise, and it killed Cruxer's girl.
And then he felt terrible. It devastated him that he killed somebody else.
Yeah.
An innocent person.
And
And then
then-
it cut away.
Yeah, and so we don't know like what's up with that, but clearly there's something going on like with that Quentin scenario.
Yeah.
Kip
And the
knows
thing
it
is,
now.
because the Luxiats think that the Lightbringer could be true, and it is Kip, and the fact that it would help, like, I don't know, the fact that it would help the country is not as important as the fact that it would prove that the Luxiats have been wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it also ties to why?
The religion.
They also said that they wanted to eradicate the heir of the Giles because they think Andros is still hiding the blinding knife.
Oh my god.
And they can't let the blinding knife be known. But they didn't even want to tell Quentin that, but they were saying like he has this artifact and he won't give it back to us.
And he'll probably use it on Kip.
Yeah.
Like
So,
to create
a
another
new
Guile prism
Yeah.
is what he's thinking. But do you think that the whole reason also that Gavin, remember when he first tells Kip to go back to the Chromeria, he's like, I want you to kill the blue Luxiat leader.
Yeah.
You think that's part of the reason? Like then the blue tried to, it was the blue who was set.
Might have been, but he's also in Andros's pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he really just needed to eradicate.
So
It
could be
did.
both.
It
I
did
mean-
confuse me a little bit that it seemed like that was so important, but Kip
And it
didn't
didn't
do
happen,
it, and
and
then
it-
it never came up again.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Yeah. We don't know what the motive was. I think he was just giving him a task. He might have.
It seems like a
even-
weird task
Yeah,
to
just
just
be like,
give
go
him,
kill
though.
like
Yeah.
literally
There was a
one of the
reason for it.
leaders
Kill
of
this
the...
dude. He looked at me wrong.
Yeah. Because that guy's like literally like one of the high
It was
priests
either
almost. He's like
Andros
a leader of
or,
the blue.
or did it have to do with something that he knew about? Because he was losing blue, and so he didn't.
But he didn't know he was losing blue.
He did when he gave Kip that order. He knew he didn't have
believe
blue
he did.
anymore.
He did
So I think what he was doing was he was like,
Oh, the blue would
take the blue
identify."
out because he's gonna realize it's getting out of whack,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go kill the Bane. But try to kill that guy.
Oh, yeah.
But then it didn't matter anymore because he lost green and then he lost everything. So
What is the name that Andros gives them?
the mighty.
The Mighty.
The mighty.
Yeah. So they have new patches, gold,
Yeah.
which I had to use, and they're
Oh, it's so
shotguns.
cool that they're like, here you guys is like outfits. I've got everything set up for you guys. You guys are like
Yeah.
good to go. That's so cool for like that's another one of the times
Okay.
we're like, oh, Andros is.
I know,
So-
man. And that's why it's like so.
He's conflicted.
It's so weird, man. He's such a weird
I mean,
character.
he did that, but in reality, he just wants to keep Kip safe.
Yeah.
Like, and those
He knew
keep him
Zyman
safe
was going to try to kill him.
than
So
the 10 people loyal to him.
yeah. Okay, so the thing. Here's what we got to talk. So this is the end. So they go up. They escape through that
all the way to the
badass,
top,
like a white escape system.
I was wondering when that first happened. I'm like, how many people were just like standing in the middle of the road, and then all of a sudden a zip line just fucking like cuts them in half?
Well, that's what they thought. They
shot
thought that was
suits
going to
up.
happen, and they did it anyway. But
Yeah.
then it all came out of the buildings.
Oh yeah,
It was built into the side of the buildings, and that's why they were like, "Oh God, it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
They did it
Yeah.
anyway. But
You kind of. I mean, I know it's a risk, but you kind of have to because that's a potential death compared to guaranteed deaths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
and
that-
then
I don't
also
blame
they
them for taking that chance.
Cruxer said do it because he's like, we have the Lightbringer. Like,
Yeah.
it just in his
Oh, yeah.
mind that trumped everyone else that might have died there.
Cruxer said it.
The crazy thing is that Tia doesn't go with him. Kip does marry Tisis.
Oh yeah, at the
And-
docks.
At the docks.
How about Iron Fist brother?
Iron Fist's brother sacrifices himself and knew that Iron Fist was part of the
spy.
Broken Eye.
Dude, that was that this book?
Yes.
No. Was that this book where we find out that Iron Fist's brother has been letting him like win this whole time? Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That
the
scene was so good. Oh
And then
my
also-
god.
I
Also-
almost cried.
Yeah, it
oh
was
my
so
god.
Also,
good.
you find out that the butcher, Tremblefist, went in a rage and killed his own wife.
Yeah.
Not the other way around because they had.
He went on a rage because he thought his wife was killed.
Yes.
But then he realized that the wife, it was a slave wearing his wife's clothing and that his wife was okay. And when the slave was running towards him, he had killed her.
Yeah.
Thinking that, or he was just in a rage.
Yep.
Thinking that she was trying to stab him.
But
or
it
something.
was-
But it was his
But it
wife.
was
So
his
like
wife.
that's like
And that's why he's like devastated at himself.
devastated. Yeah.
But he gets a little bit of his like a shred of like kind of like this is how I can
Yeah.
try and make something out of my horrible existence.
You
like,
also
which is
find
so
out.
cool.
You also find out that he wanted to stay home, but he came with
Yeah.
Iron Fist because he was worrying about his
brother.
He wanted to
eye.
save his brother, but then he ended up saving his own life.
Yeah. Oh, here's the thing. Here's the thing now. So we talked that. That's crazy. Okay. Now we have to do one final thing before we close the episode out.
All right.
We have to talk about Gavin. His story: loses 2 fingers,
Oh God!
an eye, tortured, a boat slave for
Nearly
a long
dead,
time,
yeah.
nearly dead, and then the craziest scene
Aye,
is
aye, Captain. I
when
mean, one eye.
he lets the whole boat know that he stays in, and then he also lets
What the fuck was he?
the soldier at the end
Oh, yeah.
know that he stays in who fought with him, and then the crazy thing is that Iron Fist's sister is a nuts.
Oh yeah.
Nuts.
She is
Iron Fist's sister
amazingly
is
crazy.
And
She's a bitch.
dude, oh my
She
god.
needs to get laid so hard.
Was she the lesbian?
No.
By the dude
No,
that looks like her brother.
Her sister is the lesbian.
Tisis' sister's
Oh,
lesbian.
that's okay.
Yeah. She's the one that's banging the dude that looks like her brother.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Karris thought that was gross.
Yeah.
And that
That's a
scene
little
was
weird.
amazing though.
Oh, true Lannister style.
So first of all, tons of respect. Gavin was like, I could draft black, I could
guy
do
and
it.
her sister, you
I
look
could
exactly
like murder
like
them all.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hold on, I'm way more merciful than you.
Yeah.
And he let
Which is
them
funny
all-
that he's
and
like,
let his eye get popped out, man.
Yeah.
And then
God, that's got it. That scene is so freaking hard to read because you're just like, no. I'm like,
know.
draft it, just do it, kill him.
Yeah,
I was,
but that would have been bad because Karris
Karris and everybody was there.
I was a little convinced. I thought that he was gonna lose both eyes. I really did.
Yeah.
I thought like, okay, this is the
Oh,
end
he's
of
gonna
Gavin.
die. Yeah.
I thought this was the end of Gavin, and I was, as much as it sucks that he lost an eye.
At least he didn't.
I ended up coming out of it like, well, it's kind of a win for us.
Dude, I actually feel bad too. Like on his one hand, he's
Left
got
hand, yeah.
his left hand. He's only got these fingers, and then he lost an
He
eye.
lost his pinky and ring.
These are the most important ones.
They are, but man,
Well, actually, 80% of all of your grip strength comes from your
your
pinky.
pinky. Yeah, it does. Oh, he can do a glass. He can do a glass.
80% more.
Yeah.
So that scene where Karris comes out
Really,
acting like
Ben?
frou frou. She's like, I challenge you to the death. I thought that was amazing. With Ben Haddad's
Yeah.
like little clip, and then she just cuts that, or she jams that knife right in his head, severs it, and throws it in Iron Fist's sister's lap.
Ooh,
That was amazing.
Oh, sorry. This is off topic a little
Go
bit,
for it.
but I just thought of something. So he's lost all ability to see color, but that probably means that he can still draft black and white.
Yeah.
And he's in a prison designed to keep out people that can draft color.
Yeah. So if he can
so
hopefully...
those prisons
so
potentially
all he sees
aren't
is,
useful against
he
him
sees
at
gray,
all.
There's
which
one
is going to be
problem.
white, like, depending on where the light's coming
Well,
from, it's either white or dark.
That's the
black.
problem that I brought up earlier, is that he doesn't know he could draft white.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
So I have a feeling that his journey in the prison is going to probably be figuring that out.
One thing I'm curious about...
Hopefully.
One thing I'm really curious about is
Hopefully.
if they do
black.
start to say that black is a color... Like, how are they going to get around that? Like, black is really the absence of color. How would you draw in the absence of color?
you draw in
Maybe
evil.
that's why
that's
it's
the problem.
That's,
That's
evil.
why it's-
that's the
Oh,
problem.
it's just evil.
Well, they don't know. We don't know if it's really evil. That's what we're told.
Yeah.
And that's even what the broken eye says.
Like-
and that's actually what...
But again, it could be a power thing where they're like, okay, we can't just have people going around learning how to draft with no light and having infinite amount of power. It could potentially be that again.
what if it is?
I mean, they've already proven that they're able to do it with with peril and other colors, where they just completely erase it from history because it's considered too dangerous, too powerful.
Yeah.
We can't just have people
'Cause you
going
can't
around
control it.
assassinating
Yeah.
people and we have no idea
Who did
so they
it,
just
how.
erased it from existence.
Yeah. So any other final thoughts, Brett Betts, before we close out?
No, I think that was good.
It's exciting.
When we started this series, I was like, all right, this is going to be cool, but I can't wait to get to Skyward 2. I'm still super psyched for Skyward 2,
Yeah,
but now I'm like
Starlight.
a little disappointed that we have to stop and do Skyward 2.
know.
Because-
I wish I want to read Skyward 2 as soon as possible, but I wish it was released in like 2 months so that we could finish this.
I agree. So that's for
This
you
is going to
too
be
as well,
a
folks.
finished book.
Yeah.
I know.
Finished series.
This is
know.
going to be our first finished series.
The Stephen King one you guys finished.
Oh,
But that was a
Tower
book.
No,
Dark
Dark
Tower.
Tower.
Yeah.
Although we haven't released it all yet.
That's
Still
true.
coming out.
Yeah.
So in case you didn't hear it, we
Oh my
are...
gosh, she's been taking notes for like 3 minutes.
Siri's been taking notes for us. So in case you missed it, we are finishing our discussion on the Broken Eye. We are taking a short break, but for you guys, it will be a little longer than a short break. We are going to read the Skyward Book 2, which is called Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, because we're super pumped for it, and we want to hit it right when it's hot.
Yeah.
But that also means we have actually already recorded Before the Purple, as you can see, our new studio sound absorbent
Studio.
stuff. It's
We
growing.
have, we have a wrinkle-free edition coming soon,
Yeah,
so look
exactly.
forward to that.
We are in fact continuously building our studio out a little bit so we could provide you with a better experience. But we are going to take a break. So if you're reading this with us, also take a break and check out Skyward and Starsight.
Yeah.
We're going to release while we're reading.
I believe we're going to have 2 or 3 episodes for each of those
Exactly.
books, and then we'll be back to this.
We'll be back to this. So we're going to read, while we're reading Starsight, we are going to go ahead and release our pre-recorded episodes on Skyward. And so enjoy those, read them with us, check it out, and then we will get back to this after about 6 episodes. Mm-hmm. So a little over a month. We'll be back to book 4. We'll be reading it before then, but you will actually see it in about 6 weeks. So we'll be reading. We have to, that's the thing about doing this. It's not like a movie or an episode. We actually need like time to read this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, read along and cheers.
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 Off to the beer fest.
Yay!
Thanks again for joining us for this episode of Lit Literature. If you liked us, please check out our social media at Lit Literature 1 at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't hesitate to join in on the conversation. We appreciate the conversation, the questions, book recommendations, anything of that sort. Join in right on the social media websites. And don't forget to check us out at our website, litliterature.com, and our upcoming projects, though there aren't many now besides Lit Literature, you can find at lyket.net, Lyket. We do have a Patreon account, but if you truly want to support us, please like and share. Cheers.